Okay. Okay.
Because I'm Joel's cousin Deborah, and his grandmother and my grandfather were sister and brother, and his grandmother was the first of the siblings to come to America from Belarus, from White Russia, which I've always been in awe of. And the whole family story was that his grandmother Lizzie was the business mind. She was the one that brought everyone together. And when my father was ill in Philadelphia, he had polio, she said to my grandfather and his wife, "You send Jaime down, you send your son to me and I'll take care of him." And she did. She eventually, when he was better, put him to work in the wallpaper store, which then my father bought when they closed the store. But he also, then next door lived my mother. So just because Lizzie brought him to the town of Wilmington, Delaware, that's how my parents met. So it was a huge influence, his grandmother, on my little life here. However, Joel may not remember this, but Lizzie died at some point in, say, early, I don't know, 1940s. But when I came along a year after Joel, there was a step-great-aunt who was Anna, Aunt Anna, that lived with your grandfather. Do you remember?
Who was married to my grandmother.
Yes, he
Is that
was.
this? Yeah.
Married, of course, yes. He was definitely married. And I remember Aunt Anna and Uncle Sam. I did not know Joel's grandmother and my great-aunt. But I remember Aunt Anna, and I believe that when she passed, we were like 5 and 6, but I remember meeting you when you were little.
Okay. And I don't remember
And
that,
you
but I'm sure
had
you did.
like
Yeah.
a little wool suit on, and I thought, oh, he's so dressed up. And, he doesn't remember, I don't think I've ever shared this with him, but he came from Massachusetts, and it may have been winter, and his mother may have dressed him in this little suit. And I remember, wow, he's really dressed up.
Yeah.
And I don't think I saw him again until your grandfather died, but
Yeah.
by then we were in high school. And I remember visiting, my mama put me on the train in Wilmington, Delaware. It was my first big trip on the Amtrak to go to Boston. And then your parents met me, or you met me, or something. But I met Hank. Was that your friend? Yeah, I remember Hank. I remember the name. And you introduced me. And it was so fun to see another group of high schoolers and to get to know Joel.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate to connect over the years. And Joel, how many of you know that he's a wonderful writer and communicator? Yes.
I am.
And he's written the
A
most
writer.
he's written the most beautiful letters back in the day. Remember, the young people don't remember this, but we used to write letters. You know, with
Oh my
paper.
God! Yeah. We used to do that.
And he would write big, long letters, and we always stayed connected. We were married, our training marriages, and then divorced and wandering. And actually, I remember the house where you lived with your 5 people, because I visited my friend in Hartford. Did you remember that trip? See, he doesn't remember, but I remember that milieu where he was like going through his thing. So and I'm so thrilled to be here. He randomly invited me, and I was coming back here. So I'm honored to meet all of you and to share with Jan and with Joel. And just one more thing. As many of you may know, a big food celebrity passed away last week, Anthony Bourdain. He was big. And he was quite an icon in the world, really, as well as the food world. And his last job was working at CNN for, no reservations or whatever. It was really about travel as much as food. But really for Anthony, the whole travel was really about life. Life was a journey and travel was a journey. And he loved to travel so much. His second marriage fell apart. He was gone 250 days a year, and I had seen him and his first wife and his little girl. And when I was really shocked, but he had lost that marriage and he was dating someone, but he was on the road. And I found this quote, and I thought this really was relevant to today. So I'm going to read it. It's short. And Anthony Bourdain said, "Travel isn't always pretty. It isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it hurts, it even breaks your heart, but that's okay." And remember, he's talking about travel, but he really meant life. Yeah. And he said, "The journey changes you. It should change you. You take something with you from every time you travel. Hopefully you leave something good behind." And I just wanted to ask each of you in this room, has not Joel given something good to all of us? Yes? Yes. Everybody raise their hand. Has Joel given something good? Well, thank you, Joel, for sharing.